Okay, I think it's time. Now it's 10:30 a.m. in Vietnam and 1 p.m. in Adelaide. I hope everyone is doing good. So it's time for us to start the webinar today. Thank you, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you very much for your time being here with us. My name is Ivy, and I'm the Regional Marketing Manager for Youth Education. And today we are very honored to holding a webinar training with South Australian Government Schools. And thank you very much, Matthew, for being here with us. As I sent out the email earlier to you all, there's some certain selling points that we wanted to highlight during this webinar, and the key selling point that we want you guys to take away is that our South Australian Government School is the only government school that offering from like English program, high school program, high school preparation program to the mainstream program at the moment through the Connects program, which I'm going to show you a short video of the program before we start with Matthew. So whether your students are like onshore or whether they are offshore at the moment, if they still want to go and study and not having any like break in between, they can still go with this Connect program. And this program also have the purse that is started very early on. So from year 8 to year 11, they can still start studying virtually from their home country. And South Australian Government School is, it has to be one of the most affordable government school at the moment out of all the states in Australia, along with like the very affordable living fees for students who wanted to stay in Adelaide. And for now, correct me if I'm wrong. So Adelaide and some like for Vietnam and Indonesia, we only 2.5 hours apart. So now it's 10:30 a.m. In Vietnam. And it's 1 p.m. in Adelaide. So it's very convenient for Southeast Asian students to study. So the earliest time that the student will start is 7:20. Is where the schedule start in some Southeast Asian country, and will finish by noon time. So it's very convenient for the student, also the parents, to not like dragging too long or like too different in terms of the time frame for the student to study. So without further ado, I'm gonna post more of the background and also the bio of Matthew in the chat box for you to know more about our speaker today. So over to you, Matthew. Thank you very much. Oh, and before that, I wanted to play a short video about Connect program, but maybe perhaps Matthew, you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Thanks so much, Ivy, and good afternoon, everybody from Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Look, I'm very, very grateful for the time that you've afforded me today, and thank you for Yes Education for making this happen. And I mean, I really do look forward to sharing you some insights on what life is like here in South Australia, both in a pre-COVID time and now a COVID time, and what we're doing in terms of providing opportunities for our agents to bring students into our programs, regardless of the borders being shut, but also some exciting news around the exemption program that we've had approved recently.
Yeah,
I'll get into that detail shortly, but Ivy, maybe I'll let you play the video now to do the introduction, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen real quick. Just share everything. So.
I want to improve my.
So you guys can hear my my sound, right? Okay.
Yes.
Great.
English before I entered Australian school.
ISET Connect is many things. It's an innovative and exciting online English preparatory course, utilising contemporary approaches to teaching and learning, delivered by qualified teachers in real time, so that when they make the transition to their face-to-face schooling in a South Australian government school, they're in a much better position to do so.
So typically our ISET Connect students, they wake up, they log in and they start the day in their care groups.
Can get up at 8:20 when the class starts at 8:30 is quite happy for me.
And then they start each of their lessons for the day. So whether that be science, maths, English, they go through a typical school day.
When I talk to other students from other countries, I really enjoy talking with them because they have different cultures. It's very fun.
I think the best part about connecting with the ISEC students is just learning more about what they enjoy and what we do, and our hobbies and stuff isn't actually that different.
It's not just about improving English capabilities, it's about learning what an Australian school is like and how students in Australian schools are taught.
Upon successful completion of ISET Connect, students have a number of pathways that they can exit to. Firstly, for students who would be exiting into years 8, 9 or 10, we have the pre-SACE Connect pathway, where they can continue their learning in a range of subjects, including mathematics, science and English. For those students who are exiting into Stage 1 or Year 11 of their studies, in addition to having 60 credits from the SACE, they will be able to choose from 2 pathways to continue their learning options.
I would love to recommend ISET Connect online course to other students. This course really helped me a lot and I appreciate it.
We're looking forward to welcoming you to our virtual classroom.
Wonderful. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. All right, thank you. And back to you, Matthew.
Thanks, Ivy. Look, I'm not sure how clear that video was, whether it was a bit clunky, but I'm sure in the chat box there'll be those links will be shared.
I'll post the link on the chat box as well.
Great. Let's see. Okay, so I gather everyone can hear me and see the screen that I've just shared. So I'm going to take you through just a short introduction to the International Student Program here in South Australian Government Schools before I get into the depth of the online offerings that we currently have. So just quickly, as was mentioned, I'm an international business manager here for the Department for Education, and I manage Vietnam, Korea, Cambodia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. I'm also connected to Indonesia because I know we have some Indonesian guests online today and can share that with one of my colleagues. So wherever you might be, when the borders are open, Adelaide from Southeast Asia is quite easy to get to. We suggest most people who are coming in from, well, if it's Malaysia or Indonesia, they're direct flights, but from Vietnam, it's a short hop to Singapore and then 6 hours on a plane into Adelaide. So Adelaide is the capital of South Australia. We're a very diverse state. We are located on the coastline, but we are surrounded by hills. So the natural beauty and some of the selling points that we talk about for South Australia and Adelaide in particular really is around those clear blue skies, the cleanliness, the safeness, the temperature. It's not cold like some of our fellow southern states. And so it's a really comfortable place for students. A smaller city, so much smaller than KL or Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, or Jakarta, much, much smaller. We are what's known as a city in a park. You may have heard about New York, which has a park inside a city. Adelaide is a city within a park. And as you can see, we're surrounded by parklands. And we're also known as the 20-minute city. Very easy to get around. So in the foreground in that photo, you might be able to see the airport. That is less than 20 minutes from Adelaide, the CBD. So interesting point. Last year in April, when we had a short lockdown at the beginning of COVID, we were only closed for about 3 weeks. And in that short time, nature came back to the city. This is a kangaroo hopping past our office in the middle of the CBD. So we really are quite close to nature. Good to hear from our students about why they might choose Adelaide. And it really is around that lifestyle, that ability to access a comfortable, clean living environment very close to the city, as said by this student from Cambodia. We're also known as the education city. So we have in the city itself some of the top universities, such as the University of Adelaide, University of South Australia, Flinders University. We offer the lowest rent when students are older, but we obviously offer homestay. And we have a very diverse student background. Just a quick touch on our education system. Like all Australian states, we offer the Australian curriculum, beginning in reception, which is your 5-year-olds, through to the end of year 10. What's different between each state is the senior high school certificate in year 11 and 12, and I'll talk about that shortly. The academic year begins in January and finishes in December. Our days are generally much shorter than some of our friends who go to school in Southeast Asian countries. We offer nearly 100 schools in the international program, in the high school, primary school, and regional schools. So whilst all our schools offer a very strong academic curriculum, they are defined by different strengths in co-curricular and extracurricular, which I will touch on later. Every one of our schools has something called an international student program manager that looks after not just the academic development of a student, but their well-being and provides emotional support for them. So most of our students that come into our program from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam generally will join either the primary school program or the high school graduate program. As a department, we are also specialists in study tours and adult training. So when borders are open, we take short-term programs, 3, 4, 5 weeks, as well as adult training programs where we teach either university students or current teachers around the methodology and pedagogy of our system and give them an opportunity to work shadow in schools. But the high school graduate program is the main program that our students come into. Most of the time, historically, they've come in year 10, but now more than ever, they're coming in younger, very much with the goal of going on to university. Most of them stay here in South Australia. In year 11 and 12, we offer 2 certificates. We have the South Australian Certificate of Education and the International Baccalaureate Diploma. The SACE in year 11 and 12 is really about providing students the option to study subjects they are interested in. If they're interested in it, they will do them well. So if I was to compare to Vietnam that has 13 subjects, year 11, only 6 subjects and only 2 compulsory subjects, which are maths and English. The other 4 subjects are students' choice. In year 12, research project and 4 subjects of their choice. It's really about them specializing in subjects they're interested in. We also have the IB Diploma. So we will have 5 schools that offer the IB Diploma from 2022. This is an alternative to the SACE. We have 17 schools that offer what we call the ISEC, the Intensive Secondary English course. This is not just a standalone ELICOS course. Students are enrolled in their school. They will do English, maths, science, humanities. They can join the clubs. They can play their musical instruments. They're part of the school community. It's all about preparing them for their mainstream study. As I mentioned before, what differentiates our schools are the special interest programs. You might have a student who's very strong in football or the violin or STEM. We would match a student to a school that is a specialist in that area. everywhere from the science and math areas to the health and physical education, the arts and technologies. Every school has a major strength in the special interest program. And just touching on what I mentioned before about the 13 subjects, what we find is students become more engaged and more passionate about their study because they are choosing their pathway, knowing full well what their goals are in the future at university study. And Jia, who was at Blackwood High this year, lays this out well. So that was life like when we were recruiting students onshore. And we still have 800 students in our program that we're supporting. But then the nasty old coronavirus came along. So what do? How do we continue running our South Australian Government School International Student Program? How do we continue to support our valuable agents and provide students with the opportunity to study with us? So a quick update. We're very conscious of the challenges that are faced in other countries. Particularly, I'm aware of what's going in Malaysia, in Vietnam now with your lockdown, and Indonesia. I'm very fortunate and privileged to say the situation here, we have no local cases. The only cases we have, it's actually 6 now, are return travellers who are in Medi hotels. The whole population nearly has been tested and our vaccination program is picking up speed. Whilst this is happening, we still have 800 students on shore that we have to support. We've provided financial support, wellbeing support, a wonderful, wonderful holiday program where students have been given free academic tuition, free camps to regional South Australia, cash vouchers to buy school supplies. We've supported our homestays to support our students, and we've kept them informed because this has been a really hard time for our students being away from their families. But we're really pleased to say we've gone above and beyond supporting them. And by and large, we've maintained our student population who've seen the support we've provided them. But we just don't know about those borders and the uncertainty that is provided. We've heard stories about exemption programs. We hear about vaccine passports. We understood there's some talk about a Singapore hub. A lot of this we don't know, but what we do know is that we currently have an exemption for students studying year 11 in our Stage 1 SACE Connect program. The current criteria is they must be 18. So we have a very small cohort of students who we hope to get here for term 3 in July. They will have to quarantine in a Medi hotel. However, what it is the beginning of some green shoots of revival. We can rebuild this industry through these small steps. We are now working very hard with the South Australian Health about expanding this exemption to 16 and 17-year-olds. This hasn't happened yet, but we are hopeful for that to happen in the future. At the moment, we are really pleased that we've had this start. So our response to having closed borders and providing not just an opportunity for students, but something for our agents to go, well, in the school sector, what's available? How can we maintain providing students with pathways? How can we maintain drawing commissions from providers? Well, in August last year, we launched the ISET Connect, which is our English program. August the 3rd, that started with 47 students. We've maintained nearly all of those students who have continued into the pre-SACE, which is year 8, 9 and 10 mainstream, or Stage 1, year 11. We've grown that now to 132 students, and we're looking about an intake of about 45 to 50 students in term 3, pushing us close to 200 students studying online. So we are an expert in this field. What's been amazing, some of the benefits that we were not expecting, students have made such strong emotional connections to their teachers and each other. Their English language has developed even quicker than what they do in the classroom because they have less distractions. They are absolutely focused online. So the ISET Connect and all our Connect programs are full-time study. So students do have to withdraw from their local school. They are committed to study like they would be if they were on shore. We have a diverse range of students from a number of different countries. And this is building and building and building. The Pre-SACE Connect is mainstream year 8, 9, and 10. So students who have already met the IELTS requirement of 5.5 can enter this directly, or students who transition through the ISET Connect can join this program. Continuing on English, Maths, Science, the Personal Learning Plan, which is the precursor to the research project, and the humanities. We also make sure that we offer not just holiday programs to our students who are onshore, but also those ones who are online. So we've done celebrity cooking, we've done virtual quiz, we're offering a karaoke type competition. We're always looking to ways to engage our students online, knowing full well that they are experiencing a very different curriculum experience. Stage 1 is when it gets very serious. So this is the first year of the South Australian Certificate of Education, which is a 2-year certificate, which is the pathway to achieving an ATAR to enter university. We have 2 different pathways in the Stage 1 Connect. We have the very strong science focus in Pathway A slightly different focus in Pathway B with a little bit more of a business flavour. Both these pathways will continue to be offered in Year 12, but like I said before, students studying this program who've currently turned 18 can get exemption to travel to South Australian government schools. And we're working really hard to capture our 16 and 17-year-olds as well. We talked about that. So about the support, we know that students who are studying online need a different level of support. So I've mentioned here Vietnamese language support. We offer in-language support in other languages as well, including Indonesian, not Malay, but Bahasa we do. We have student buddies who they meet with each week, local students who talk to them about, not about the maths and not about the science, but where's a good place to go shopping? What's the music like? A little bit more fun. We're also offering informal conversation classes and bilingual support. For new enrolments now, we're waiving our administration and support fee. Tim, who is in the ISET Connect, that says not the real Tim, because he sent me a different photo that he didn't like this one that I haven't uploaded yet, talks a little bit about what his experience is like in the ISET Connect. The critical part about connecting with those other students that are going through the same experience in different countries. Back to what we are and who we are and how we support our students. International Education Services of South Australian Government Schools is a one-stop shop for our agents and students. Everywhere from the application enrolment stage to the marketing and promotion, issuing COEs, collecting finance, homestay accreditation is done by our office. We do everything internally. Just touch quickly on a homestay. Really important to understand, we manage that as a government provider. We don't use a private provider. So we do all the checks. We make sure that they're accredited, they have their police checks, that they're the right match for the students. You know, is a student playing the piano? We make sure we find a family that has a piano. Do they not like dogs? Then don't place them with dogs. If they like dogs, place them with dogs. We have a whole team that looks after that. As Ivy said, I just want to touch on the affordability as well. Our value proposition is an affordable one. We are significantly cheaper than the other states. And when we look at tuition, and if we carry tuition over 3 years, we're up to $10,000 cheaper than some of the other states. This is real savings for families. And what's more, we know that a number of our students who come to South Australia will stay with relatives or nominated homestay, thus removing that other cost of homestay. But our homestay is only $300 a week. Another thing worth mentioning is that our state government really supports the international student industry. For a local student and an international student, they are treated the same. $25.50 for a monthly pass. Go and check the other states, $150 a month in some places. This is significant savings over a 3-year period, thousands and thousands of dollars. Just touching on our fees, as if you would know some of the other providers, you know that this is a little bit more affordable, and we don't charge for airport reception. As I touched on, we carry our agents and students from the journey from the very moment that they apply to the day they arrive. Another really good point to point as well is we run a 24-hour emergency phone. So we share that among our staff. So I had the phone 2 weeks ago and it rang at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, obviously that's not perfect, but we had a missing student who stayed out a bit later than they should have. So we put all our networks out and we got him home and made sure he was safe. He said he fell asleep at McDonald's. I think he was visiting his girlfriend. Either way, we're 24-hour support for our students and our homestay families to keep our students safe.
Okay, I think you're back. maybe your the internet connection was not great.
Okay, can you hear me again?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, do I need
Yeah.
to reshare, I think?
Yes, I think. Yep.
Oh, that's okay. I'm on the last slide anyway.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 minute.
No worries.
Here we go. All right. These things happen. Technology we can't control.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes again. All right. So you might have missed that. A lot of information I just shared with you all, and a really easy one to remember for government schools is the CCQ. So C is for community, and that includes the staff here in our office, our schools, our teachers, our homestays. It's that wraparound support we provide for students. The next C is for cost. It's the affordability, our value proposition, from tuition fees to homestay to public transport. And Q is for the quality of the education we provide, not just onshore, but also online. So thanks very much. It's a lot of information, and I'm pretty sure Ivy and the team have a copy of it to share with you, as well as video links. But I mean, I'd welcome this now to open this up to any questions. And I think there's some things coming in on the chat box.
Yes.
So,
So
would you like me to address that, Ivy? Yeah,
yes,
sorry.
yes, for sure. So can you go back to the fees for the ISEC Connect? Perhaps you can share the screen again so that everyone can screenshot.
Sure, of course I can.
And of course, we're gonna send the presentation PowerPoint to you all after the meeting, after the training today.
Okay, let's go back up again. Okay, so these are our fees. Now, the fees are the same for the ISEC, for all the Connect programs. So for example, let's pretend a student was doing entering into year 10 for one semester of ISEC, that's Australian $6,800. So that includes all the bilingual support. So that's one of the differences between onshore and offshore, is that we offer that extra layer of support. And amazingly, the amount of effort our teachers are putting into this group of students, knowing full well of the different environment they're in. They are available on email. They have extra Zoom chats, extra counselling. We've been amazed by the amount of work our schools do to support these students online.
Yeah. Okay. I think before everyone jump in and ask more questions, perhaps you can get us some more update about the current situation, because so far we received some of our students that have the travel exemption. So perhaps you can share with us like what is the criteria or criterion for the student to be considered under this travel exemption.
The current one, sure thing. All right, I'll bring up the so the current exemption is very strict. And
yeah.
So right now across Australia, there's an exemption for students in year 11 and 12 who have previously returned home, whether that's to Vietnam, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, wherever it is, they can apply to come back. Now that's all happened last year, but now what we've included is the students who are committed online are considered to be part of that cohort. So whilst at the moment the criteria is very much around being 18 years of age or over, we are working towards expanding that. That hasn't happened yet. I've got to be really clear that has not happened yet, but it's on the plan.
Yeah.
And I am a bit confident because this wasn't on the plan, but it now is. So we know that SA Health have really good support services for students 16 years and over. So we are a little bit confident that will happen, but it hasn't happened yet.
So we're confident that we can have the age extended to like lower than 18 in the future. But hopefully, hopefully that before we can get into that, the border would be open anytime soon. Hopefully the vaccine is rolling out like faster in Australia, so that everyone can travel to Australia again. Okay, I think we have a question from Jenny. So do the ISEC and SACE Connect program offered by all public school in South Australia?
No. We've got 100 schools that are in the international program. And for example, we had 17 schools offering the ISEC Connect, because our intake usually in term 1 and term 3 would be over 500 students, much fewer. So in August last year, we have, if anyone knows South Australian government schools, you might want to do some Googling after you hear this. August last year, Henley High School, Nord Morialta High School, and Hamilton Secondary College were the pioneers in delivering the ISEC Connect. From term 3 this year, we also are welcoming Banksia Park International High School and Marrickville High School. So we will have 5 schools offering the Connect programs. What I would say to any prospective student is they all offer the same quality. So it doesn't matter which school offers the online, but we do guarantee that, for example, Ivy, if someone wants to come and study at Adelaide High School, when the border opens, they would transfer to Adelaide High School. The online program is with 5 schools, but we always will deliver on the offer letter high school when the borders are open.
Yeah. So make sure that the transition from the ISEC or SACE program is SACE Connect program is transferred smoothly to their desired high school. Yep.
I can tell you as well, when these students and your student arrives in Adelaide, we're going to have the biggest party for those guys.
Yes. Last time when I catch up with you and our team, I saw some pictures and like some updates that you did show us with some pictures of student in Vietnam. They're doing like some project or I think it was like a field trip to with the student on shore, and also the offshore student can also join virtually, and they have their own activities as well. Right?
Yeah, so Study Adelaide, who represent all sectors, are looking at doing something called Camp Adelaide in Ho Chi Minh and bringing students in, but it's on hold now because you're in lockdown. But we're trying to engage as best as we can with these students, and we've built such strong relations. Our schools have built such strong relationships with them, and look, when they, for your student who's going to come in and do 2 weeks hotel quarantine, we'll be catching up with them every day. They'll be still doing their study, but we'll be catching up with them every day. We'll send them Vietnamese food. Honestly, we're so excited that we'll finally get some students here.
Yes, I'm very excited as well. And our student that got the travel exemption, the day that I delivered the news to them, they were super excited and very happy. And hopefully that the plan is rolling out soon, and we get more updates in terms of the further step soon for the students.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, we have another question from Jenny about a Vietnamese student who already completed year 10 in Vietnam, and they wanted to transfer to this program, or maybe I would say apply for this program. Would it be possible?
Absolutely. So hi, Jenny. Thanks very much for your question. That's a really common pathway for our students from Vietnam. They would complete year 10 and then join the ISEC program for the second half of this year, July to December, and then join year 11 in 2022. So absolutely 100%. We are on June the 3rd, and the ISEC starts on the July 26th. So if that's something you have a student is interested in, we need to get moving very quickly.
Yeah, that's it. That's a very perfect news. So we have another question from Lee. A lot of questions from Vietnamese agent actually. Other agents in Indonesia or Malaysia, if you have any question, please feel free to send us. All right. So the travel exemption for SACE program students is valid from next coming semester. Is that correct? Yes.
That's right. So the students who have met the criteria that we've submitted the applications for, we are super hoping they can get here in time for the next semester. Look, it's going to depend on the availability of flights, because if I understand correctly, airports closed in Vietnam.
Only the airport in Saigon, in Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah.
Okay, so there's, as you all know, with COVID, it's a moving picture. So right now, like I said, the exemption is for the 18-year-olds. We are hopeful to get the students here for semester 2. But any other student who wants to join the program in term 3 online into the ISEC Connect, if they turn 18, either later this year or early next year, they also come under the exemption. So there are opportunities for students to travel Australia under this exemption should they do this pathway through ISEC Connect into SACE Connect, stage 1.
There's still a chance for students. Yeah. So if you have any student going to turn 18 soon in this year, so please do not hesitate to make the application to South Australia, because we never know the policy would be open up to these students. So make sure that your student is well prepared with all, like their transcript and all the documents. Make sure that it's ready to go. So yeah. Anytime that we can make the application and get the travel exemption for the student, we're ready to go. Yeah. Okay. Matthew, maybe in the meantime, while we're waiting for more questions to come, please update with us more about the student that currently studying onshore at the moment, if you have anything to share.
Yeah, sure thing. So I touched on it a bit earlier. One of the things that when we sat down when the pandemic began was really about the emotional and social well-being of all our students onshore, because most of them have not seen their families since January 2020. So we were very conscious of not just during the school term, how the school supported them, but then we get to the holidays. What happens? We don't want them sitting around at home and feeling a bit sad. So we got a lot of investment from our government to provide opportunities. I'm just wondering if I can quickly, I'll show you a video of the holiday program.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
If you don't mind, what I might just do is I'm just going to mute my video while I have a look. And Ivy, if you just want to have a chat, give me about 2 minutes.
Yes, for sure. Just take your time, Matthew. So in the meantime, when we're waiting for Matthew, I just want to quickly share with you guys about the travel exemption. I know it's not a like a criteria where the student has to be turning 18 to apply for this program, but at the same time, if you have any student that would like to study in Australia and they cannot wait until further, announcement from the government when the border would be open, please advise your student that there are a chance for them to study and go to Australia through the Connect programs. So one of them is, of course, as I mentioned before, and Matthew also as well, that the student would need to turn 18 and they would have to study in the ISEC Connect or the SACE Connect program. And also the student would also have to get the visa as well, of course, before they are eligible to further process into the next steps. Yes, so if you have any question in regards to this travel exemption, please connect with me or Bo here in Vietnam and your regional marketing manager in your country of VS Education, so that we can help you and assist you right away. Yes, and now we have Matthew coming back. Do you want to share the screen now?
Sure do.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned before, we very, very proud of the investment we were able to put into our students onshore. You know, it's not just we recruit and forget. We absolutely have our current students in front of mind. And so this is just a short video of one of the most recent last holidays summer camp or term 1, term 2 camp experience for a bunch of our students. So let's hope the video works. Here it comes.
Summer holiday, I couldn't return home because of COVID-19, and I was so sad when I got out of college.
Matthew, maybe you can increase the volume. Yes, there it is.
International students offered by the IES, I felt much happier and excited as well.
We feel very sad because we're missing our family and friends, but thanks to the IES organization, we are able to make new friends here and experience stuff that we never experienced, like fishing, surfing, having new friends from different countries, meeting nice people. We're very excited to spend our holiday in South Australia. I love school holiday program. This makes some new friends and see kangaroo and koala.
have a chance to make a lot of friends.
I really enjoy how everyone's being friendly. We are very thankful for IS providing us our school holiday program during Christmas. The best camp ever.
So that was just an example of the investment and an absolutely huge breadth of programs we ran for, as you saw, over 750 students during the school holidays.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I think we have another question.
Typical day in ISEC Connect is
from Jenny. So if the student who do not enroll in the SACE program, they might not be able to apply for the travel exemption. Is that correct?
Right now, that's the case. So the criteria means they have to have commenced studying year 11 online, which is the SACE Connect. So that brings into scope all our students currently doing the SACE Connect right now, as well as any future SACE Connect students. So the only way we could enroll a SACE Connect into semester 2 this year is if they'd met IELTS 5.5 and had completed year 11 in their home country, so we could give them credit for the first semester.
Yeah, and also I wanted to add into what Matthew just mentioned is that, of course, South Australia will give some priority to those students that already study the Connect program, but of course at the same time we're trying to be fair to everyone. But if the student can if you can persuade the student to join in the SACE Connect program, that would be increasing the chance for them to be able to consider for the travel exemption. Yes.
So just on that, Ivy. So right now, with the criteria as it is, the best pathway would be term 3 ISEC Connect into stage 1 SACE Connect in January next year.
Yeah, that's the pathway for the student if they wanted to be considered for the travel exemption. Okay, Bo, I think you wanted to jump in and
Yes,
join
the...
Hey, Bo.
Yes.
How are you doing, Matthew?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for your support as well during this. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. It's been a great session so far. I just wanted to ask you, what was your opinion about some schools that you thought were really good at subjects like mathematics or science? We have a few students that are quite talented in those areas, and maybe you knew of some specific schools that are quite good in that area. And in particular, maybe you could touch on some progression rates to university as well. Where do most students from Adelaide government or South Australia government schools like to progress? Do they like to stay in Adelaide? Do they like to branch off to Melbourne or Sydney? Maybe you can touch on that and give an idea to some of our partners on that.
Sure thing, Bo. We actually have one specific school called the Australian Science and Maths School, which is a very unique school, which is based on the University of Flinders University campus, which has a really different teaching model. So students go in casual clothes. There's not much co-curricular. It's a real focus on the science and maths areas.
Yeah.
Having said that, I would say most of our schools have, chem, physics, math methods, specialist math strengths. I mean, anywhere from the Unleys to the Charles Campbell, Adelaide, Marrickville, Norwood. I mean, when you get to year 11 and 12, the expectation is, the high level in the science areas, and all the money gone from our government into our schools at the moment has been the development of the STEM areas of schools. So a lot of our schools this year look like building sites. They'll look absolutely amazing next year. I used to work at a high fee paying independent school here, and the facilities at many of our government schools next year are going to be equal, if not better than those.
Wow,
and
great.
definitely better in the STEM area.
Fantastic.
In terms of progress, yeah, most would stay in Adelaide because that's where they build their relationships. Obviously, a number of students would look to move interstate or overseas because the ATAR is transferable to anywhere. So I was meeting a student yesterday from Glenunga, and she wants to go to a dance university in Europe, and she's on the pathway to do it. She's very successful.
Great. Fantastic.
So the students are going everywhere, pretty much over the world.
Yeah, but with a lot who will stay here because they're familiar with how to get around, you know, what the living conditions, all their friends, whether they're involved in club sport or, you know, ensembles, etc.
Fantastic. That's good. What would you say are some really interesting co-curricular activities that take place in some of the schools?
Oh, crikey, where to start? You name one and I'll tell you which school's got it.
What about, how about for sport? If we have some students really interested in different sporting extracurricular?
Yeah, so we have what we call special entry programs at our schools, and schools have different specialties in sport. So if I was to look at Adelaide High, which is literally just down the road, rowing and cricket, which are not massive sports in Asia, but then I might go to Henley and go soccer and golf.
Yeah.
Or I might go to, oh boy, but you know, Marrickville for tennis, Brighton for volleyball, Nord for basketball. It's very diverse.
Fantastic. That's great.
Many options.
Very good. Okay. Is there any more questions here? I think that's all the questions asked, right?
We answer all the questions.
Okay, that's good.
Yes. So just to wrap up, so at the end of this session today, we'll set out a follow-up email along with the recording and also the presentation. For those of you who might not be able to make it today, you can feel free to circulate it to your colleague as well. And we're very happy to virtually meet you in person, virtually over the screen here. So hopefully once the situation here getting better, we can travel and meet each other in person anytime soon.
Yeah, I miss Vietnam.
Yes.
June, I'd be getting ready for a visit in July, usually in normal days, and I'd swing by Malaysia on the way as well. So all I can say to everyone today is online is keep safe, look after yourself, your colleagues and your family, and we'll just keep looking for that light at the end of this long tunnel, and I'm sure it's going to come and we can rebuild the industry together.
Great. Thanks, Matthew.
My pleasure. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Goodbye,
Yes.
Indonesia, Vietnam, and Malaysia.
Thank you.
See you, folks.
Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.